Hi, this is Julie, the science geek. I love science. I love that science serves humanity in so many positive ways, making our lives better. And I've been lucky to have a career in science doing what I love. And for about 30 years, I have been working in laboratories in or around them that deal with biohazardous materials. And those are things that are hazardous to bio and life. And that means infectious diseases. I've worked with HIV in the laboratory and others. So I've gotten very good at PPE. So we hear that a lot on the news right now. PPE, personal protective equipment. I got very good at it. I mean, 30 years is a lot of practice. And the way it happened was I would get trained. I would practice it because I had to do it every day. And it really became second nature so that I didn't even really have to think about it anymore. I knew what to put on. I knew what to wear. I knew, depending on what situation, was what I was doing in the lab, I knew what various pieces. There's a lot of PPE out there, and it just depends on what you're doing as to what you need to wear. You see it on the movies all the time. You see in these whole suits with the hoses coming out the back. That's PPE designed to totally prevent anything. And then there's the others that are looked at reducing the things. So depending on the situation, it depends on what you need to know. So I'm a very practical scientist, and I want to be able to talk to you. I want to talk to you today about translating from what we do in the labs and what scientists and doctors, everyone's do with PPE. Let's translate that into our everyday lives, right? Because this is now the reality for a while of where we really need to focus on this. So let's talk about translating that in. We already do PPE every day. Every person does it. It's just different situations. So if you're going out in the sun, you're going to the beach or the pool, you're going to go play golf, play tennis, you're going out in the sun, there's PPE for you. It's not a face mask and it's not rubber latex gloves, but it's things like sunscreen, a hat, long sleeves, different kinds of shoes to protect you. If you're at a hot beach, you wear, sandals. So those are all PPE. And why do we do that? Well, we do it to protect ourselves from the sun. And that's normal, right? That's a situation that's normal to us. We know what it is that we need to do, and we kind of judge the situation based on how bad is it going to be. Am I going to be out for like 12 hours, or am I going to be out for 5 minutes? So you judge it. When you're working in the garden, are you going to be pruning rose bushes? Well, maybe you need to wear the extra thick, heavy leather gloves and, to protect you from the scratches and stuff. Wear nice thick shoes so that you don't step on rocks and poke your feet. That's all personal protective equipment. You're protecting your person. So practically, we're in a new situation. This doesn't happen very often. Okay, so this is the situation. We have an infectious airborne virus. So what kind of PPE do we need to use or be thinking about for this situation? And something is better than nothing. No, you may not have everything at your hands to be able to use, but something is better than nothing. Okay. So why are we doing it? We just want to reduce the risk of us getting infected or of us infecting others with this. And so I really want to, there's a lot of information out there on, how to make a mask, what it needs to be. And so I'm not really going to go into that. But what I do want to talk about is how. In this situation, how do you wear and use PPE for this? How do you handle it when you're wearing it? What does it have to do? And then how do you dispose of it, right? Because now let's get into practical, right? So with airborne viruses, they're in the air and they're also on solid surfaces. So we're going to be talking about protecting our nose and mouth with masks and protecting the skin on our hands with gloves. And I saw a great analogy, a Facebook video of a doctor who put it together of how you decontaminate your groceries. But what he said was, think about the virus as glitter. And anyone who's ever been around glitter knows that it gets everywhere. I mean, it's at Christmas time, it takes months to get the glitter out of the house because it just keeps turning up in all the most impossible places. And you think you've cleaned and it's still there. So think about the virus particles as glitter, because that's an easy thing to kind of just make that analogy. All right. And we're going to be talking really about face and hands. All right, so I actually put some things together to kind of show you a little bit about these things. So a couple months ago, I went to the hospital to visit somebody, and it was flu season, and they were asking that visitors came in and that they wore masks. So they were giving out disposable masks. I kept mine. And because this was in January, and I kind of saw what was coming with the coronavirus. So they had these little masks. You've seen these before, these nice flat little whatever. So the thing to notice about these that make them a good little mask is that the end of it is elastic. It's very stretchy, right? That's one key thing. It has a little metal bar going across the top, very small, so that it's very bendy. If you bend it, it stays. Okay, that's one thing. It's folded so that it can expand, right? So those are the features of this mask that make it a good mask. Other masks, as long as you're hitting those features, stretchy so it can, little something so that it can fit to your face, and very quilted. So if we put this on, I'm going to put that on first without poking myself. Okay, so we put on the mask. All right, the elastic, it's holding it snug to my face. I pull it apart so that I get it underneath my jaw, right? And then that little metal bar that was on the top, it goes all the way, so I kind of flatten it, and so that it's flat to my nose, down around the edge, and then it's all open. That's what you want it to do. You want it to go in and out like that. And the reason it's doing that is because the elastic is holding it snug against my face. The metal bar is reducing any airflow from here, and having it tucked all the way underneath my jaw is sealing it up against my face. So that is the proper way to wear a face mask. You don't want gaps around any of the areas that air could get to your nose or to your mouth. Okay, that's what you want it to do. So that can be accomplished many different ways. Lots of creativity out there on YouTube on how to make masks, but those are the features. You want it to be snug, because if air is coming from the outside, you just defeated the purpose of wearing a mask. Okay, and it's harder to breathe. This is not a comfortable thing. I've had to wear them for hours at a time in the lab. You do get used to it. It's not comfortable, but that's what you do, and you will get used to it. Okay, so the next level of protection is I want to add a second skin, and I'm adding a second skin to my hands. So I have some handy dandy dishwashing gloves. These are nice latex gloves. They are reusable, so I don't have to be using disposables that need to be used elsewhere. So you put on your gloves. Now you're doing all this, you're clean, the gloves are clean, the mask is clean, everything's fine. All right, so now I have my ever so attractive, fashionable rubber gloves. I'm good, right? I have a mask, I've got gloves, I'm protected from anything coming in to get me. And the mask has the added benefit of nothing's going out to infect others. So these are all good things. So let's put together a scenario. We go to the grocery store, okay? Go to the grocery store. I wouldn't be wearing this in the car. When I would get out of the car, I would put this on and then get out of the car. Go into the grocery store, the first thing you do, you grab a cart. Okay, now, thinking about virus as glitter, so the virus particles, it is potential. Let's say that there is some virus left behind by somebody else on that cart handle, okay? I put my nice gloved hands on there. My skin inside the gloves is protected. Now I have that on my hands though, or on the gloves, I'm sorry. So the glitter, let's say there was glitter on that cart, I just put glitter onto the gloves. Okay, then I go into the grocery store. Then I start touching food on the shelves. I start, maybe had to open a door. All that glitter is now being transferred, right, from every object that I touch. Let's say I'm wearing my glasses, okay? So if I put on my glasses, all right, this is even more fun. If your glasses start fogging up, that means your mask isn't tight enough to your face. That's a good little tip, or as tight as you can get it. But look what I just did. See, I just touched my glasses because they're not comfortable. Now, what if I had put those on in the grocery store? I've just transferred glitter to my glasses, right? Or let's say my glasses start fogging up. So I take them off and I pull the mask down. I just kind of defeated the purpose, right? Because now my nose is hanging out there. Having a mask over your mouth only and not your nose defeats the purpose. Mask has to be all the way on and snug to your face and cozy. I would have to decontaminate my glasses because I've just touched them with my glitter hands. And I'm going shopping. Okay, I pull out my grocery list. Oh, look, it's on my little device. So I pull out my grocery list. I touch it. I'm looking at I'm scrolling. I'm spreading glitter all over my device. I'm gonna have to decontaminate that and clean it, right? So just because you have PPE doesn't mean you're not transferring it around. Okay, so come out, go to the store, go back out to my car, put the groceries in the car, glitter, glitter, glitter. Now, how do I get all this stuff off? Okay, I'm gonna set aside a place in my car where I'm gonna put my phone. And if I need to leave my glasses on, I'll leave my glasses on. Okay, but how am I gonna get this stuff off? Because let's assume there's glitter on the mask because I've been out and it was floating in the air, little droplets, maybe some within 6 feet of somebody who coughed or sneezed. I could have glitter on the outside of the mask, and I know I have glitter on the outsides of the gloves. So how do we do this safely, right? You can't just start taking it off and touching everywhere. Let's do it safely. Have a little trash bag, right? I have a little trash bag. I'm gonna take the mask off first. So my hands have glitter, the mask has glitter. Touch the outside of the mask. Don't touch your face. Don't reach back to your hair and start taking the mask off. Grab the mask and get it off like that. So I'm touching the outside of the mask with the gloves, right? I'm gonna ball that up and I'm putting it in the little plastic bag. Something like that. Okay, now I have these gloves. They have glitter all over them. How do I get these off without touching them anyhow? So this is the little trick that we learn in the lab and what people who wear disposable gloves all the time, it works like a charm. With one gloved hand, you grab the bottom of the other glove like this, and you're going to turn it inside out. Okay, so this hand, we're now good. This, you ball it up. In the other hand, you ball it all up, all right? Now, this hand is clean, right? I got the glove off, okay, no glitter. I reach up under the inside of the other glove and I flip it off inside out with that other one on the inside. This is the inside, right? The inside was good. These are latex gloves, right? Now, these are reusable. I would try and wash them, but if they are not, you can always just put them in the bag and they're in a space. Now, I would wash my hands, I would wash my glasses, and I would wash my little PDA device or, disinfect it. So now we're good. So hopefully all that glitter is gone and it's contained. Keep it sealed to your face. Be aware of where your hands are going, where you're transferring that glitter, so you can just disinfect it later. If it's things that are not disposable, you can either disinfect them, wash them. If you're making your own masks out of material, you need to wash them. After you use them once, they are now potentially contaminated. Don't keep reusing the same one without doing something to disinfect them. If they're reusable gloves, like my wonderful Playtex gloves for dishes, wash them. Just clean the outside of them. If it's clothing, do the laundry. If it's you could spray them with a disinfectant. So And if you can't, then quarantine them. So I could take that little plastic bag and I could go set it somewhere for 72 hours. Because remember, on surfaces, the virus that could potentially be infective, it could live on plastic for up to 3 days, 72 hours. If it was a paper or cardboard, it could be 24 hours. If it's fabric or clothing, 3 hours. So you quarantine them, and then after that time period, it's fine. So if you can't disinfect right away, or you can't because it would destroy it, then quarantine them, and then you can reuse them later. So just be aware, watch out for the glitter. It's just a new situation. It's to add to our everyday life. We're used to situations of working in the garden, situation of going out in the sun. So putting on PPE for this airborne virus disease, it's the same thing as putting on sunscreen when you go outside. And so we just need to get used to it, get used to thinking about it, get used to how to handle it safely. And please be careful if you are wearing a mask. Leave it over your nose and make it tight to your face. I had a wonderful delivery guy came the other day and he had it below his nose. And I said, no, please put it up because it needs to protect everything. So I hope that helps. Please use it safely, use it wisely. And if you have questions about what materials to use or how, check out the CDC website. They have lots of information. Check with your local public health organizations. They know all of this as well. And nothing to get freaked out about. Just a new situation and a new way to use PPE. We're in all this together, and we will get through it together. So be safe and relax, don't stress, and let me know if you have other topics that you'd like to talk about. Bye.